An idea. We heard you were on the housing task force. We've got an idea we want you to pursue. So thanks to them for getting me to this point.
Make a motion, bill be approved.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Senator Boswell.
Aye.
Senator Funky Farmeyer.
Yes.
Senator Gardler.
Aye.
Senator Howe. Senator Maiden.
Oh. Oh, I do apologize, ma'am. Please, let's see. Are you Miss Kelly? Okay. Do I have a withdrawal or motion? Okay, withdrawal. Okay. I apologize, ma'am. Please come up. Yes, yes. You can sit next to Senator Higdon. He doesn't bite. Okay, you need to turn your microphone on there. Identify yourself for the record.
I'm Destiny Kelly. I'm in Henry County, one of the counties that's going to be negatively affected by this bill. When you couple this bill with HB18, it will essentially violate private property owners' rights, as well as put discriminatory housing as our only housing option. Religious organizations are allowed to discriminate based on their religion. So in these small rural counties like Henry County, where I live, with a completely Republican government who spent the entire summer breaking state law to steal from my organization, you are going to put discriminatory housing in counties that already don't have enough housing. In a state that is so rural, these counties that this is going in are more predominantly poorer counties with less investment in education, and they don't actually understand the bill that you all are trying to push. These multi-family housing units from these religious organizations will be tax exempt. Who is going to contribute to our roads, our bridges, and emergency services for all of those new residents? The people that live there already, the poor residents of the county that have lived there for hundreds of years and are being forced out by elitism and neoliberal housing tactics that actually create a bigger problem in areas that are cut off from being able to know what's going on. This bill is horrible for 6 different counties in Kentucky. 6 counties in Kentucky are only going to have multi-unit housing that is religious-based. HB 18 will make it to where we can't change our planning and zoning laws, but SB59 will allow only religious organizations to circumvent them and then not pay taxes and discriminate.
Senator Maiden has a question for you, if you would please direct your attention towards
Can
it.
you describe discriminatory housing units to me? I don't follow that exactly.
Religious organizations by federal law are allowed to discriminate. So if you are gay, a unwed mother, if you don't follow that religious ideology, which, for example, say it's Christian, only 50% of people in this state are actually Christian. So this religious organization can discriminate on who is allowed to have a home and who is not allowed to have a home in rural Kentucky.
We have a brief follow-up from Senator Yates. Briefly, Senator.
Absolutely. I'll be brief. And thank you for your comments today and your passion. When I look at these type of issues, you're always trying to balance. And so when I looked at the housing task force onto it, we have an issue of not enough housing. And so when I look at that, I realize that we're not taking one housing and put it to another, really creating a gap fill. And so when some people had brought to my attention and said, well, maybe they're the nonprofits, because I'm co-chair of the nonprofit caucus too, so the nonprofits wouldn't be paying into additional taxes. I also looked at these monster corporations and developers that we're giving tax credits and incentives. We're actually giving them your tax dollars to gap fill to have them build into it. So if we can get nonprofits to provide the work that we can't do as government, because we look at the homeless and addiction services, all these things that they can perfectly provide because it's different. That's that balance. What it makes me feel safer. What makes me feel safer is that this provides for a level of local control. So the local area, I represent Louisville, and so we go through the council. So and I like local control, so they can put together those safeguards in place. So for that reason, I'd be a yes vote, and look forward to working with you to make this thing right.
I understand that we are short 200,000 houses, well, 238,000. Actually, I am on a statewide coordinated housing campaign, but installing discriminatory housing is doing harm.
All right, we have a motion and a second on the bill. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Senator Boswell. Senator Funky Farmeyer.
I'm going to say aye, but would like to explain my vote.
Certainly. You have 2 minutes.
We acknowledge what you're presenting to us today, and what I appreciate is that there are local controls, and we do want to drive more local decisions so that we're not understanding Henry County as well as you ever could understand Henry County. So I do appreciate, and if there are other additions that you might suggest, please get with one of us here on the committee, as Senator Higdon is open to additions to this bill that might make it an excellent bill if you don't feel currently that it's an excellent bill. So thank you for being here today.
Senator Gardler. Senator Gardler. Senator Howe.
Aye.
Senator Maiden. Senator Nunn. Senator Thomas. Senator Wilson.
Explain my vote, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to vote aye because I'm in a community that we have what's called room at the inn for the homeless. All of our churches participate in that. They do not discriminate against anybody based on any belief system. They open their doors, they invite them all in, they sleep there, they feed them. We also have the Salvation Army that provides housing for them, and they do not discriminate either. And so I don't see that as much of a problem as you suggest that there might be, so I vote aye.
Senator Wise. Senator Yates.
So
Yes, sir.
some of the reasons mentioned, but also, first of all, for bringing attention, because this doesn't end the bill. This is how the process works through committee. So if there are particular things that you'd like to, I've worked with Senator Higdon for a long time. He's always been open-minded. If there's certain areas that you think protections that should be written into this bill, into it, present those, and we'll discuss that. Also, I like to talk with my local people at home to see what potentially could be put in place. But that's how we get good legislation. But I do want to say thanks for being here, but also that it's not over. This is a work in progress, as you heard today. Thank you.
Chair Wheeler.
I vote aye. The bill passes with favorable expression 9-0 and shall proceed to the floor. Thank you, Senator Higdon.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee.
And Senator Funky Fromeyer, if you could assume the chair.